Alright, no foreplay with this one. Got to get right into, not the climax, not yet, but definitely the meat. Tigers, Mariners, two teams who haven't been to the ALCS in a long time. Last time the Tigers did, I had a bedtime. Last time the Mariners did, I had a no time. I didn't exist. And oh my god. George Lucas, Christopher Nolan, Steven Spielberg, frickin', I don't know, Quentin Tarantino couldn't combine to write as elite of a script as these playoffs have been so far, especially Mariners Tigers. So thank you for being here, subscribed or not. If you haven't joined the 49% elite humans, consider hitting that button if you like the videos, as game 1, Tarek Skubal not getting the start. Instead, it's pretty much a bullpen game for the Tigers, and Julio Rodriguez hits one out to start the party. 1-0 Mariners, the ballpark going nuts until Sabrina Carpenter's brother says, don't get it twisted, I'm the masterpiece. Bomb. Just swats this shit out. Tigers on top, but Julio comes back. Couple innings later, there were runners on the corners, first pitch base hit to Carpenter, and right, tie game. And then nobody scored in the 7th inning. Then nobody scored in the 8th inning. Then the 9th inning goes by, nobody doing a thing. 10th inning, nope, nobody wants to win this game. I mean, how long is this gonna last? Well, someone finally blinked. Zach McKinstry grounds one up the middle. Tigers back on top, and they hold on to win in 11 innings. Man, 11 innings in the playoffs doesn't get much longer and crazier than that. Tigers up 1-0 in this series, and not only are they up 1-0, but they're up 1-0 without using their trump card, their ace in the hole, their cheat code, Tarek Skubal. And he's now available for 2 games. I mean, you quite literally cannot draw that up more perfectly for Detroit and any worse for Seattle. But Jorge Polanco saw this. He looked Tarek Skubal right dead in the face and said,
I'm not locked in here with you. You're locked in here with me.
He takes Skubal deep 2 times. He dominated. Other than that, 7 innings, 3 hits, 9 strikeouts. The Mariners lineup was like Barry Bonds and 8 AA players. Mariners 5 outs away from tying the series. Tigers got a guy on in the 8th. Riley Green hits a rocket right at Josh Naylor at first, who, if he fields this, is probably 2 outs. Instead, it's nothing because it eats him up. 2 guys on, 1 out. Spencer Torkelson, aka
Okay. At first base, we got Spencer Torkelson.
I like saying it that way better. He places one perfectly down the line. Torres at second easily scores, and Riley Green is able to come all the way around. Tie game. Tigers all of a sudden have a real shot at taking both these games in Seattle, which between these two teams, I did not have a dog in the fight. They really have dogs fight each other. That's insane. You know, like sometimes you think about an analogy and realize how effed up it is. Lots of ways to win a baseball game, lots of ways to skin a cat. That's not disturbing. Anyway, I was completely indifferent on who I wanted to win this series. But for this game specifically, game 2, I wanted the Mariners to do an anti-Nick Cannon and pull this one out. This team hasn't won a playoff game in front of their fans in 24 years. They got blue balled to hell and back 3 years ago against the Astros. First playoff home game in 21 years. And they didn't score a single run in 18 innings. All that just to watch the Astros celebrate. That is so mean. Those fans do not deserve that. So even if they lose this series, just win a damn game for your fans. And Julio understood the mission. After a 1-out Cal Raleigh double, Julio rips the second pitch he sees down the line. Mariners back on top just like that. They almost got a 2-run lead back. Julio gets caught at home, but they didn't even need that extra run. Andres Munoz comes in. Talk about skinning cats. He's actually a big cat guy. Think about skinning Andres Munoz's poor cat next time you want to say that term. Make you feel like a real piece of shit. There's also pieces of shit who are criticizing this dude for getting all emotional because his team took the lead late. Like, oh, you're celebrating your team taking a lead in game 2 of the ALDS. That's how you know your team doesn't win much. And yeah, and this is the second time the Mariners have made the playoffs in 24 years. The audacity for this guy to get emotional about his team doing... No, not having it. Just when you thought there weren't enough things for people to get upset about. Well, no, this was great. I love seeing stuff like this, and I also love seeing Munoz throw a 1-2-3 inning to give the Mariners their first home win in the playoffs in 24 years and have this series heading to Detroit all tied up. Meanwhile, earlier in this same day, Vladdy Jr. hit a grand slam against the Yankees in their game. In that series, the Blue Jays ended up winning. And the guy who used to be the play-by-play for the Mariners, Dave Sims, is now the Yankees radio announcer and sounded depressed calling that. Well, that's what happens. Should have stayed loyal to a winning franchise like the Mariners, who were ready for game 3, well, also with the help of the Tigers. With Victor Robles on second, JP Crawford places one down for a hit, but Robles gets held up going around third. He probably would have been out. He got too late of a head start going going home, except the Tigers are like, nah, have at it, go to town. The ball goes through the legs of the catcher, Dylan Dingler, the diddler, as they get past him. So Robles says screw it and just sneaks home. 1-0 Mariners, and they just took it from there. Randy Arozarena knocks home JP. 2-0 Mariners. Next inning, Eugenio Suarez hits a nuke. 3-0. JP Crawford says, I want to try, let me try. Bang. 5-1 Mariners. He makes it 6-1 on a sac fly. 2 innings later, then Cal Raleigh hits a home run ball that could have gone anywhere in this ballpark, yet went directly to the one man in the stands wearing a Dump 61 here shirt. For those who don't get it, Cal hit 60 homers this season, so his first playoff homer would be 61. And he hit 61 exactly to the guy who says hit 61 here. And he also had a Dump 62 here shirt underneath. What is life? Like, what is that? Again, you're telling me Martin Scorsese can write that? Get the hell out of here. Logan Gilbert has a great start. The Seamen blow Detroit out, and after losing game 1 at home with Skubal looming, well, now all of a sudden they got the advantage, and the first 5 innings of Game 3 really looked like the Mariners had full control of this thing, and the Tigers were just going to go out sad. They're up 3-0. Bryce Miller's pitching well. Tigers just doing nothing offensively. Now, even before this game started, this whole situation reminded me of the last time the Tigers were down 2-1 in the ALDS. It was against Oakland in 2013. They came back to win the series, and that included coming back from down 3-0 in Game 4. They were down 3-0 in the 5th inning of that game, scored 3 runs in that 5th inning to tie it, and eventually won. This game, they're down 3-0 in the 5th inning, and what do? Score 3 runs in the 5th inning and eventually win. I mean, the Tigers' offense straight up rose from the depths of hell. Just hit after hit after hit ties the game. Go to the 6th inning. Riley Green hits the second pitch he sees to frickin' 8-mile. Then Torkelson smacks a double. Zach McKinstry, base hit, 5-3 Detroit, but then he gets picked off at first base before the diddler strikes out. That sucks. No problem. Wenzel Perez double. Javi Baez. What a redemption year for him. He already tied the game in the inning before with a hit. Who wants an encore? Bomb. Crowd's going insane. Then Glaber joins the party, because why the hell not? Tigers end up scoring 9 runs in the last 4 innings while the Mariners do nothing. And this felt very fitting. Like, even when Seattle was up 3-0, I was like, are the Tigers really about to go out this way? I couldn't see it happening, and neither did they, apparently. Shit, 9 runs. All right, back to Seattle to settle this. So far, 2 polar opposite types of games, depending on what ballpark it was. They split the games in Seattle and both win by a score of 3-2, and then split the games in Detroit and combined for 24 runs in those games. So back to T-Mobile Park, that's my carrier. I gotta shout out the crowd. These Mariners fans were locked and loaded, a wreck, ready to go from the start. Not that I wouldn't expect that from them. It's just cool seeing it. I mean, when George Kirby's first pitch of the game, a strike, just a simple first strike, was followed by a roar, I was like, oh yeah. This is sick. This crowd was a madhouse from the start. Tigers have the exact man they want or need on the mound, though. Tarik Skubal. We really need to truly appreciate what this man is doing. Not that we haven't necessarily. It's just one of those things where he's so good to the point where you never feel like you'll be able to appreciate what he's doing enough. And if it sounds like I'm glazing, that's because I am, which brings me to today's sponsor, Krispy Kreme. I'm just kidding. That'd be a wild sponsor. Although I actually kind of like Dunkin'. Anyway, Tarik Skubal with balls the size of volleyballs goes out there and makes it look easy. And if you still to this point for whatever reason wasn't convinced Skubal was good, he gave you 13 reasons why in this game. Talking about Krispy Kreme, imagine a dozen donuts and then an extra donut. That's a lot of donuts. Well, replace those donuts with strikeouts and you're a lot healthier, and you're also Tarik Skubal. Just ridiculous. And the Mariners guy, Kirby, overall pitched well, but in comes the bullpen. Mariners get a lefty to face Sabrina Carpenter's brother, and he responds to that by saying, that's that me espresso. Boom. 2-1 Tigers. Go to the 7th. Tigers manager AJ Hinch goes to his bullpen, which I get it. He was at 99 pitches through 6 innings, Skubal, but I would have kept him in for another inning, or at least until like someone maybe got on, but whatever. It's time for the bullpen, and 2 2-out hits tie the game. Leo Rivas on his birthday ties the game. That's sick. Another emotional moment. This guy crying. Again, gonna be people who say that shows his team doesn't win a lot, and okay, zero issue with this great moment. Andres Munoz comes in with 2 outs in the 8th and walks the first 2 hitters he faces, but gets Riley Green to pop out. Mariners get a guy on in the 8th inning. Perfect. Here comes the top of the order. Never mind. Strikeout, on to the 9th. If the Mariners are going to win this game to get to their first ALCS in 24 years, it's going to be via a walk-off. Tigers don't score in the 9th. Mariners don't either. A couple more strikeouts. This series started with extra innings, and it's going to end with extra innings. Bottom of the 10th, Victor Robles sends the first pitch he sees to Sabrina Carpenter's brother and right. Just like that. It's as if we're still playing with the automatic runner at second rule that they have for the regular season. Well, then J.P. Crawford pops out. Randy Arozarena strikes out, and with 2 guys on now, because they put Cal Raleigh at first, Julio Rodriguez grounds right to Baez to end the inning. This is exactly how this game continued for 5 more innings. Both the Tigers and Mariners would get guys on. They didn't have any issue doing that. Oh, they were getting them on base. The issue is once that happened, once the Tigers had base runners or once the Mariners had some guys on, every hitter afterward would turn into this. Not even pornos have this much teasing. I mean, this was ridiculous. Almost carbon copy of that Astros game 3 years ago. It just wouldn't end. Nobody wanted, and I mean nobody wanted to score. And I have got to go over some of the tweets people were throwing out as they were all losing their minds over this never-ending game, putting the never-ending story to shame. They should take half of the Mariners and half of the Tigers and send them to Toronto. I can't wait until they pan the camera to the bullpen and we see Ichiro getting hot. In a pitch, the bottom of the 19th for the Tigers, Skarek 2-ball. This may have been the best one. The Blue Jays, the official Blue Jays account tweeted this gif out with no caption needed. They play the winner of this game. Mariners fans are stressed. She was 21 when this game started. See, this is why I don't delete that app. I know it's a cesspool of violence, hate, and OnlyFans bots, but damn it if you won't see the funniest shit on here. The Blue Jays are going to face a position player in game 1. When they zoom in on a Mariners fan, you can tell which SSRI they take.
Damn.
Game just made no sense. The Mariners radio announcer in the 11th inning just out of nowhere decided to shit on the Rockies for absolutely no reason.
Mariners checked off some really big boxes late in the season. They got a win against Colorado to get to the postseason. They got a win against Colorado to clinch the West. They got a win against Colorado to get a bye.
Imagine some random Rockies fan just trying to enjoy a postseason game, then he hears this like,
What?
And by the way,
Me?
Me? Yes, there.
Then we got Jack Flaherty being an absolute madman. This was him earlier in the game, sniffing whatever the hell this is. And then he came into the game in the 13th. Bro, full on just chatting it up with himself out there. He pitched well like most pitchers in this game. That goes into the 15th inning. It's now having its quinceañera. This was Julio Rodriguez when this game started. This was him now. Feel old yet? And the Mariners get something going. Leadoff base hit by JP. Randy gets hit. So 2 on to start this. Although with the way this game's been going, that couldn't mean any less. Cal Raleigh does as good of a job as he could without getting a hit. Sacrifice fly that moves both runners over. So the winning run is now 90 feet away. They put Julio on first to load the bases up for the double play for Jorge Polanco. And I guess they thought keeping him on the left side of the plate would be a plan. Turns out the real plan should have been to have their infield position like this.
Polanco sends it into right and will send Seattle to the American League Championship Series for the first time in 24 years.
Cinema. Again, this crowd was on their feet loud from first pitch to the last. It was incredible. Even Francisco Lindor had to chime in on how crazy this game was. And Twitter strikes again. I click on the comments and the first 2 I see, oh, glad they're showing the game in Cancun. And it looks like we got the Mariners game 1 starter in Toronto. This whole series really was fitting the way it did go. Like, these both felt like teams who were meant to be there. It felt like neither team's season should end this entire season. So even though one of them was going to end, it was going to take as long as possible to figure it out. Sad ending for the Tigers, but shout out Seattle. They've needed this. They got it, and baseball is incredible. Let me know your thoughts, and thank you for watching. Love you. Bye.